Okay, so moving on to the density analysis part. So yeah, so if central analysis tells us which roads matter most, right? So this density analysis, it tells us how built up each part of the study area is, right? So this section actually measures urban form using four main indicators: FSI, GSI, OSR, and density value, right? FSI, or the floor space index, it shows how much total floor area exists compared to the plot area, right? In simple terms, how tall and the intense, yeah, that's the word, intense development is. When it comes to GSI, ground space index, it shows how much of the ground is covered by buildings, right? How spread out or packed buildings are on the surface. When it comes to OSR, it shows how much open space exists related to the built area. Higher OSR mean more open and kind of a less congested conditions, right? So density value is a combined measure of build volume and intensity in each hex cell, right? So we created a grid 100 meter, right? So we created a 100-meter grid. As you can see here, there's a fab menu also. So the analysis area boundary and 100-meter hex grid. So FSI, GSI, OSI, density value, building layer, roads, and the POIs, right? So here on the left side, build form intensity, you can see. Also, like I said before, all this data loaded from a pre-processed GeoJSON files, right? So FSI, when it comes to FSI, you can see min, max, and average, and you can analyze minimum cell. See, the grid-wise analysis is there. So then when it comes to FSI value distribution, it shows actually how each bar shows how many hex cells fall in that FSI range, right? So this chart actually shows its building height intensity evenly spread or concentrate in a few ranges, right? So we can see this is the highest bars, right? These are actually mostly related to the temple space, right? Temple space roads are kind of you can see through the color ramp. Actually these are the highest one due to the high-rise apartment, vertical apartments, right? So that's the case. Highly dense area, a lot of actually apartments are here, right? And when it comes to GSI summary cars, again we can analyze what are the highest one and the lowest one, right? These are actually related to Okanda temple area, which these areas are kind of open areas, right? There's a ground here and school, so it's kind of open area. So that's why ground space index actually very low, right? So and the GSI value distribution, it shows actually how GSI values are distributed across these hex cells, right? So it works the same way as the FSI histogram. This chart basically means how much of the corridor is heavily covered at ground level, right? How much, simply how much built areas are in the ground level. So this one, actually, one of the, this is my favorite one actually, FSI versus GSI, right? So it's a scatter plot. So one of the, like I said before, one of the most important charts in density analysis, right? So each dot actually here is a one hex cell, right? X-axis is FSI and the Y-axis is GSI. So the dot color shows the cell's urban typology, right? Based on FSI, GSI, and OSR. So what is the rationale behind that? So you can see, right? So why we put dense congested? Okay, so high FSI, high GSI, and low OSR. Why we put as dense livable, high FSI, high GSI, high SR, likewise, right? All the informations are there. These, eye indicating cards, eye indicating icons, right? So this chart basically answers, like I said before, what type of build form dominates the Mount Lavinia area, right? So dots in the upper area you can see in red color, right? High flow intensity and high ground coverage, usually, compact or congested high-rise building areas, right? Most of the time. So dots in the low area here open underdeveloped one, right? So here we can see 8 typology class. So this classification actually follows the space matrix method used in urban morphology studies, right? So actually, if we take our area, I mean study area, Mount Lavinia area, this actually helped us to understand and explain actually why some blocks feel kind of dense and you know kind of a canyon like, while other feels kind of more open, right? These are the open areas. So actually when it comes to open areas, most of the time either it has a kind of open ground or something, which actually there are, I mean all of these areas have a canopy cover. That's the thing, right? So right now, openness and density pattern, like we did, we can analyze the highest and lowest one. See, all the highest ones are, I mean, more ground, I mean, low building cover with canopies and open space related to this Okada temple area, right? So here again, the OSR value distribution same like GSI, and then finally, uh, here open OSR actually shows it's open space limited across the study area, right? You can see the lowest one only 5 or 6, hex cells, right? And the final one, density value summary, right? So actually density value combines form intensity into one number, right? So actually it's the final product of all these three indicators, FSI, GSI, OSR. So this histogram shows us how many hex cells fall in each density range, density value distribution. So it actually kind of where development, where is development pressure strongest. That is the question. I mean, that is the, I mean, we can analyze it through that question, right? See, along the Gore Road, as well as this area, right? Circular area and the market building area, kind of a highly dense area, right? Due to the commercial centers, also under apartments, and also near behind the bus stand, actually, online a bus stand, there are kind of higher apartments are there, like guys. So last one, urban typology, right? Actually, 8 typology classes like we discussed here. So this chart shows actually what is the overall character of build forming this 500 meters study area, right? So key finding box, we at the bottom. Actually we gonna bring all together in the synthesis step, so I'm not gonna explain these ones, right? So actually that's it for the yeah, that's it for the density analysis.